Okay, thank God we're early today. Ah. Okay. How do we do this here? Let's see. I cannot wait to see any of you here. Oh, guess you didn't expect me to be early today. We still have 3 minutes. That's okay. We'll wait and we will get prepared. So much to talk to you about today. It's insane how much I have to talk to you about today. Just insane. But I'm going to make sure I'm very clear. Unless we have to do it downstairs to feel better, we'll go there. Let's see who arrives first. Oh, we have someone who arrived first. I would love to know who arrived first. I really love the eager beavers of this channel who don't want to miss a thing. I'm so happy that you're here. I've got a lot to share today, and feel free to ask any questions. The way I usually work, in case you're new, feel free to say hi, but in case you're new, is I give as much insight as I can, and as I give the insight, just feel free to write any questions down that you want me to answer, and then I will make sure that I answer all those questions for you. Let me just make sure this is clean. Oh, we got the first 2 people here. Okay. Can you hear me? I just want to make sure you can hear me. God, I'm shiny. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Oh, okay. If you can't hear me, let me just... It's such an important topic about what I'm going to be talking about today, because most women don't even understand that they are in that realm and they are operating in a way that's not natural to their biology, not natural to their psychology, definitely not natural to their emotional. Oh, hi, Sherry. I just wanted to say hi. Thank you. That's awesome. I see you. You can hear me. That is great. Okay. I was early today. I was early today. So let's just start diving in. It's always going to be the ones who already know quite a bit, that are smart enough. They don't want to really miss anything. And so I'm not going to make them wait for the others, though I'm wondering why I'm so shiny. Oh no, what? Why did you say oh no? Sherry, why did you say oh no? What was the oh no for? What was the oh no for? In any case, you can let me know what the oh no is for. And unless you were responding to the title. there will come a time where I am talking to, oh, no, you didn't. No, sweetness. I showed up early, but I was just humming along. No, you're good. You're good. You're good. This is too important for you to miss. And you're right on time. Please don't worry. I don't know how many of the people are here, and it's going to be important for you to know, so you know what we're talking about and why I'm addressing it. I'm not just a woman who's decided to talk on something that is her opinion, okay? A lot of people may just take a bit of an offense when they don't understand what gives me the right to say what I say. First of all, you don't need a right to say what you say. You say what you say, and those who resonate with what you say are meant to connect to you to help them on their next step. So you may be that pebble in the crack of the pavement that allows them to make that next step so they don't twist their ankle. But so that the people understand, those that are here, I'm not just some woman with 100,000 relationship experiences, and then I am just regurgitating my isolated case and then assuming that all of you are doing the same. That would be stupid. That's what therapy does. They've had many studies with countless relationships and countless studies where they can categorize your downfall, where they can categorize what the man or the woman did by your reaction, and therefore place you in a cubicle of a category. And that is called a label. And for those that know me and know how I work, the labels, and if you want to understand that more, feel free to watch any of my other lives where I talk about labels or my shorts. Labels are the most destructive things you can ever have attached to your ass because they don't go to the root. It's how doctors and therapists are trained to deal with answers. They don't give you an answer to the root of the problem. They give you an answer as to what type of problem the problem is. So if you're looking at something that's shitty in your life, they will give you the type of shit you have. It's a stringy shit. It's diarrhea. It's an O. Henry bar. I mean, my apologies if this is too graphic, but I just have to tell it like it is. They don't go to the root of why that shit is there, nor do they clear it from your system. That's what I've been so honored and so blessed to do because I'm a Heyoka empath. Now, a lot of people get stuck on that and they go, oh, if you're an empath, you should understand my pain. I'm not a sacrificial idiot. I don't associate love with sacrifice, and I teach my women to do the same because that is one of the prime masculine distortion in women today. And I have a third book called Supernatural Badass that I'm still working on that talks about how that was hypnotized, brainwashed, messed with in the teachings of the Bible. Doesn't matter which Bible you're a part of, it's been tampered with. You'll know it's been tampered with because when I reveal certain things of how you feel, your memory, which is lodged in the water of the body. You see, water has memory, and I'll prove it to you. There is a Japanese man named Dr. Emoto who was a scientific / businessman. And he conducted a very interesting experiment where he put 3 glasses of water and he put them each in a separate room. And on one water, he put really soft music, ballads, romance, nice, soft, I love you lyrics. and he talked with it very gently. The second water, same water, he put in a different room. It was darker. The music was harsher, heavy, chaotic, static, a lot, jarring, and the words were hideous. And he also talked to it in a hideous way. The third water he put in this blank room where the type of music it was listening to was, I don't want to name bands and things like that in case it's your favorite, but it was very satanic in things that they're talking about. Then he did the smartest thing. He froze the water, each of them. Because just like, and if you don't know this is another Heyoka insight, okay? You won't be able to Google search this. The insights that I get, what people call wisdom, they come to me and I give them in my videos. And every now and then you'll hear certain women attempt to take my material, but you'll see in their face they're talking about it from memory, not from energy. In another live, I'll mention one of them because she's on YouTube. She's blonde. Margarita's her first name. Last initial is N. She's very popular in the femme business. She verbatim, I take in my earlier vids. I didn't know about it. All my followers brought it to me. And now recently, she started again with a video saying, don't say you're healing, because that's the recent video I did. So that will happen. But my aim is to teach you how to read fucking energy, because once you do, you break the spell. When I say spell, I mean hypnosis. When I say spell, I mean, this is family. They just dissed you. They disrespected you and you're going to talk to them again? You're going to be loving. Next day, like nothing happened. Like this is normal? It's not normal. It's not normal. It fractures your field, and I'll talk about that another time. It keeps your nervous system as a woman jittery, frazzled, and you get fearful thoughts because your nervous system is the engine of your vessel, of your container, of which you are made to attract a lot of money. You were inherited as your birthright for a life of ease if you were born in a divine feminine. That's not a woman who grinds. That's a woman who life, the trees, the wind, yields to. And the type of people that come to holds her in reverence. They don't kiss her ass. They value her though, and they are on her level. But you would have to be so authentic, which is beyond love's frequency, in everything you say and do and react, in order to pull in authentic opportunities, authentic insight to help you get around the bend, authentic friends, authentic man, authentic woman. You cannot bypass this because you'll never get what you want and desire. You can manifest till you can turn blue. It won't make a difference. You will only get what you are energetically. As long as a woman's nervous system, she can't sleep. Someone in her family or life or closer or a job is putting her down. So it separates her from her core of her value. She doesn't then think life is going to be warmer to her. If she doesn't have her value from people closest to her, she's going to misunderstand and think that the world will think less of her. One moment. Could you please put in your earphones, love? Oh, no, phone calls. Oh, but can you? Okay, that's awesome. Okay. I'm back. I'm just being protective of our shield and our energy here. Okay. So as a Heyoka empath, a couple of things you need to know right off the bat. I will get a lot of things in on a live. A lot of you will feel like I'm actually talking to you on a one-on-one. That's okay. I will also go off on many tangents. So gentlemen, if you're here, you're going to need endurance. It might be difficult to follow me from here to there to there to there. And I'm dyslexic, and that's right, I can't even say the word. But Heyokas are born dyslexic. So things will come to me in reverse, upside down, inside out, and all these different ways. That's because my brain receives things from a different dimension that you can't get to it in a normal way. So I can't be normal, right? And for all those of you that feel abnormal, there's hidden gifts that you don't even fucking know you have. If you want to know, hit me up for one-on-one or keep listening and perhaps we can tap into them. If there's any personal questions, please jot them down. I will get to them. So, oh God, now I got to remember where I was. The woman's nervous system is her gold. It's her bank. It's her incubator as a child of God to be protected in her energy shield so she can raise humanity by her light, by her shine, so she can be authentic in her truth. It's been centuries of man, society, trying to dim, bury, burn women. Why? This isn't about hate, everybody. It's just about let's look at things. Why? Why would the weaker sex in body, in limbs, in weight, in fragility have to be tuned out? Why? Because it is woman who has access to a power that men can only find outside of themselves. We have the energy that creates worlds running through our veins. Do you have any idea how powerful that is? Do you understand as a woman that when you just stand next to a man who is attracted to you, that you enhance his whole entire immune system just standing next to him? Like, quite personally, I would send him a bill, especially if I was dating him, but I'm just saying, if women knew that one little fact, can you imagine how they'd walk in the street? They wouldn't be performing, I'm the best, but I'm secretly scared that I'm not enough. They would be calm as fuck. And their signature would pull towards all the other queen bees. A beautiful thing happened to me today. It happens every day, but I promised her I would mention. So I was in the gym today, and I could see that a hardcore athlete woman, she looked all feminine and everything. You wouldn't see it unless you had an eye for it. She noticed me right away. It's almost like immediate admiration, respect. Oh, who's this? Like high caliber. She saw it right away. And I had to comment on her incredible eyebrows because they were so regal in her stature. Then I had to see her what I saw a little bit more in her, because she is definitely a businesswoman and a sportswoman. And those are women who will undertake a masculine distortion when they don't know, have not been taught, because it's not in school, it's not written about anywhere. But I write about it in my books. The first book, The Wisdom of the Penis, it's on Amazon. You can go check it. The second book, Sacred and Feral Trilogy, 3 ebooks. I've just released it. And I think in my comments here or the description, store.nicolecoleman, KOLMAN.com, you go right to the store. You can download previews or anything. There's some freebies for you. And I want to extend also to you, there's something that I do that has just gone wild, where I've offered Heyoka voice notes. It's insight that I have daily that comes to me because I am very honored, and I take this very seriously, and blessed to have my fingers on the pulse of the public, which means in the morning when I look at the sky and I just sit, something comes to me. And I can't tell you how many women and men, after I leave them the voice note on our Forbidden Collective, it's 33 per month. You get it every single day, unless, I really need to sleep one day. Because I get up very, very early. I have lots to prepare for you. But I would like to extend that for 4 days to those who wish to experience this after this live is posted, or go to my Instagram, Nicole, that's NiCholekOlman _ and just DM me, gift, I want to try these 4 things, or if you have any other questions about what I do or who I am, you can put it there. You can also go to store.nicolecoleman.com and contact me. Because I have incredible insight that is not mine, comes from another place. The way I write the books, it's not something you just read and then go and enjoy a movie. It's something that gives you an internal pivot inside, an internal shift, because I don't communicate. I activate. And the only way you can do that is with insight that comes from somewhere else. You can't see it with the naked eye. Your shrink can't see it with the naked eye. Your mother can't see it, and for sure, you have a blind spot to it. So I have the capabilities. And if you want to search Heyoka Empath and their gifts, you can YouTube it. You can see if you have 1 or 2 of all the special things that it's loaded with. It does come with some restrictions, like there's no way I'm going to have 4 or 5 friends because they'd suck the life out of me. And that's why when I have a one-on-one, I don't care how much you pay me, because I've had a few celebs wanted to fly me to their home in person. I'm like, no, your energy's not entering my field, because I'll feel all your shit. And if you have an injury and ailment, disease, I'll get it. I will take it from you. I don't even know how to turn it off. So a lot of people, when they have a stomach ache or a headache or something, and they have a one-on-one with me, it just goes away like that. But it's more the deeper things that we go after. And the deeper things have to do with something in your past life. I can see your past lives. This is not an anti-religious thing. This is not dark energy. This is not, oh, I shouldn't know this. This is not me going into telling you what you did to someone. This is about scoping up and scoping out the traits that you picked up. You had many lifetimes where it got stuck to you. In this lifetime, that's where the problems are. In this lifetime, that's where the landmines are that you step on. And the thing is, that is so incredible, is that you don't need any long withdrawn 2 years sessions and fucking bullshit. You just need a spotlight on what's maneuvering you under the wire. That's what I do. And you'll know it's right on because you get this. And some of my people even say, oh my God, my chest just opened. Like, I can tell you a lot of incredible things as to the response. I'm trying to get the best. Maybe we'll sit here. Okay. I can tell you some incredible things of responses, but you know what? When you haven't felt it, it doesn't matter how much I talk about the miraculous things that happen in the next 2-3 days. And it's not about magic, the way the world today is looking at it. It's true synchronicity with life working for you, not against you. Because the only reason it's not is because you've got pain. And I'm like an enema, a real shit disturber. I disturb, my energy disturbs your caustic, frazzled, scattered as fuck energy. And when it disrupts it, it's like taking away the clouds. And when it takes away the clouds, it means the sun comes through. And when the sun comes through, life just acts very different. So that's why they call me the miracle worker. It's not me per se. It's removing the rock from the sun so it can kiss you in your heart, your life. And don't think it just stops there, because everyone around you will feel it. And you will become very valuable because they won't know why they feel so good with you around them. And if you're a fucking businesswoman, I cannot tell you how great this is. And you know what? I had such a great response the other day when there's one critical thing that most women don't understand today. And I'm about to talk all about the distortions that are masculine and why I know that they're there. And for those that want to know how it started in the world, that's all in my first book, The Wisdom of the Penis. It's on Amazon. I write all about it there. But I'll tell you in a nutshell, the women that are athletic, and I'm an international champion of 3 sports, the fitness world, of which I was a fitness model and bodybuilding champion, all that, swimming and gymnastics. I've also done a lot of TV and sports work, so you might recognize me. I have a couple of celebs already following me. One doesn't even know I was in a movie with him because I was a teenager at the time. Very popular man, but I will not tell you who he is. They follow me on my TikTok channel, which is at I Love Heyoka. I'm also starting a new channel called True Light, but there is a lot of vids, a lot of learning there. There's also other established millionaire CEOs that have chosen to also follow me. And when people of that level who go to the top shrinks, the top spiritual people, a lot of spiritual people come to me that are my clients, shrinks, trauma counselors, wellness people, life coaches, love coaches. I don't take any of them anymore, because not only did the psychologist completely take my word verbatim and put it on her website for her client and was caught in the act and then was very retaliative, if that's the right word. But life coaches, love coaches all of a sudden decide not to do that job anymore because they realize, like the therapist said, I don't know what I'm doing anymore, because what you're doing is you're getting to the root, so there's a change. What I'm doing is I'm telling them what's going on, but there's no change. Then I give them tools. In other words, they started to realize that they were identifying not only with a distorted energy of what they were giving other people, but they themselves suffered from that. Because you'll always be what you teach. And you'll always become who you hang around most with. There are family members and there are people or husbands or this. I've turned around a lot of couples. When it comes to family, they don't have to stay that way. It's not about you doing anything towards them, but it is about you up-leveling. For instance, when I had a client just last night and we had to role play because she had a difficult situation with a mother, also a brother. And they role play with me. It's not about me saying things that are wise and they write it down, although people write a lot of things I say. But it's when we go back and forth and I become you, you become them, and then you say what they say. And then I maneuver around it and I zap it in its ass because I call it for what it is. I name it. The problem with a lot of you women is you can't name the fuckery. You can't name what's off because you're disconnected from your feelings. You don't even know what you're feeling. You just know it's off. You just know it hurts. You know it burns because there's a little sliver of your heart still alive, because most of it you've numbed down because you couldn't take all of it, because you don't give yourself permission to cry, which is the language of the stories that are buried inside of you. That's all they are. I remember, as I've been touring around the world the last 2.5 years now, I was in Barbados, and I was saying goodbye to the couple of the Airbnb, and they were taking me shopping, and all of a sudden it hit me that I would miss the woman. So her and I hug with the man's looking at us, and I bawl. And he's shocked. He says to me, "You're supposed," when you hear words like supposed from a man, that's a femme guy, I'll tell you right now. You're not supposed, and you should nothing. You are authentic to how you feel at the moment. When they don't want to unravel that story, that's not your problem. Your truth is not their pain. Repeat after me. My truth is not their pain. How they interpret it, how fucked up everybody let them be the same way and everything. You're gonna own your truth. You're gonna say it. You're not gonna imprison yourself anymore. So when the man said, "You should, you're like a strong woman, you should like not cry," and I just looked at him, I went, A. I didn't say I was strong. He assumed I was strong because he felt my demeanor. So you'd have to be a special kind of stupid not to see strength inside me. It's very obvious. But ask anyone around me. I'm smiling, I'm cheerful, I'm optimistic. Where's that strength coming from? From me not having to do a thing. That's how protected I am. Because my boundary is my frequency. It's my field. You don't fucking get in there without being zapped. It's almost like you step in, you'll fall into a pit. If you were not invited, it won't feel good. Not because I have to scowl, but because you can't handle my vibration. It's too fucking piercing because I'm authentic. And people know not to go there with me, especially men. Men are really good dogs. And I say that in the most beautiful way. You do know that our function here on planet Earth is to elevate horn dog to man, yes? But dogs are the most loyal. And you know what? Men have a really bad rap. I'm gonna straighten all that out today. We need them. They're very important. They've been put in so many different corners. They don't even know how the fuck to be anymore when they go on a date. Are they supposed to actually open the car door of a woman? Or is she gonna think, are you gonna think that he thinks you're weak? And so you'll give him this look and he's like, I don't know, do I open the door or do I not? Is she gonna think I'm taking over? Yeah, that's what equality has done. Make men confused. And when you're confused, you have doubt. And that doubt will come from yourself. It just snipped the balls of man. And that's what the people on top want. They want weak men and fucked up women to act like half the man they'll never be, losing all the woman they can be, which inspires man to do more than he could ever do. And I said it before and I'll say it again. No man knows the strength and power of his conviction until he looks into the eyes of the woman who reflects it back to him, his power, his certainty, what he is to accomplish. She's already there. She sees it. There's no doubt in him anymore. That's what we are. We're the missing link between man and God. That's what we are. We're the bridge. I find it hilarious. The man will search the end of the Alps, the mountains, the depths of the sea, the alien spaceships, the moon, to search for God, to search for that power, to search for the unknown, when all this time it's been staring them in their face through their woman, because that's where it's contained. That's why we have the baby. We are creation energy. I don't need to go as man, a woman, or not a woman. We don't need to have that conversation. I just want you to know that the spiritual essence is in feminine energy. Now, we know that masculine has feminine and masculine, and feminine women have feminine and masculine. And I'm going to address this in another vid, because due to the fact that most men are so drowning and overwhelmed by their feelings and not able to compartmentalize their pain anymore, so they're raveled with it, they become their pain. Because a masculine will compartmentalize, this is shit I got to deal with, it's causing me a lot of pain, I'm going to deal with it in the evening, I'm going to do this. This is how powerful they are. Men, like their organs, you know how they can move it this way, that way, tuck it in the back, in the side, whatever. They are built to compartmentalize and hold pain and choose when to tackle and fry the motherfucker. We have an organ that spills out. We don't pee in sections, right? They can. We don't pee in sections. It all comes out. You cannot tell us a secret. You can. People like me, we will not divulge it, but when we have something to say, we don't. Oh, and if you have a friend that's in masculine and you're a girl and they're like, just get to the point, you're not going to talk to that girl again. And if you have a femme guy, he won't want to hear the story, what happened. He'll want you to get to the point. We don't do points. You have the point. That's why you have a penis. We don't do points. And for the guys that says, oh, you're being such a pussy. Yeah, just look down. That's your reminder. I am one of those. Oh, but you're too sensitive. I can't be two. I'm a woman. But you know what? You're too insensitive. Why? Because now you're a man running like a woman. So you can't handle a woman's sensitivity, because when a man is primarily in his feminine energy, it will have to be in competition with your earthborn sex emotions. Of course it will. It's distorted. He doesn't have the patience. He has nothing to give. He wants it while it's easy. So push comes to shove, you have an issue, he has an issue. He'll say things like, you know what, you can deal with this. Get over it. We don't get over. Just like we don't get under all over again. For us, we must release it in words, because words carry emotional weight. That's why we talk a lot and we talk fast. The business athletic women of today, they don't work like that. It's almost annoying to them. They want to move on to the next thing. They don't know how to unravel this and make it disintegrate so they're lighter inside. So what they do is they make sure they get busier. And what also that happens to them is they call life to give them something more severe, so that this severe now has to pick a number, because they just got another one. They don't even have time to mourn. They don't have time to deal. They just have to move. And in a way that saves them. So they think. But it's not true, because they keep attracting weak men. So I'm going to go now over the traits that I've outlined for all my women, so I can talk about one by one. On Sunday, if you want to check that live, I think it's called How Men Leak Power and the Women That Call Them to Them. There's a lot of information there. It was just over 2 hours of information if you want to sit in your bed and really look to identify what a man looks like when he leaks power and the direct effect it has on you. Because until you see this video, you'll think it's normal. It's not normal. It's not normal. Your friends will say it's normal, because God forbid that you have a fucking amazing life and they're stuck in the trenches. Be very, very careful. As you start listening to me, things are going to change. Things are going to change in a very, actually, an easy way. And you're going to want to talk about it. And you'll be slammed down. And if you're not slammed down verbally, there'll be envy energy. I'll give you an example. I remember one time, it was through family people. Same garbage, I just want to say. They don't deserve the word family. So if you're in that boat like I was, family does not assassinate your character. They do not castrate you. They do not humiliate you in front of strangers so that the strangers know later they can mistreat you. They don't not do that. And yes, your family may have actually been there for you. But here's the thing that most people don't get. Love is not here and there, and then they treat you worse than an enemy. That's not love. That's not love. It's not love, and it doesn't deserve loyalty. It gets your field fragmented, and it gets your reality distorted into thinking that is love. So you attract someone that's up and down and sideways, and you say that's love. That's not love. You know. Love is consistent. Love is safe. And where there's safety, there's no fear, ever. It's not that your fear comes up. Sometimes you have to guard against. You're not in a hornet's nest where, oh, there's a live hornet. Oh, most of them are dead. Oh, it just stung me. You're not in that. You're in a bird nest where the mother bird protects you. The father's wings protect you from the rain. So the first step is to decipher what it is that you have. But in this particular case, this person was going through a lot in their life because they're very toxic. I observed, said nothing. And the thing is because I was in close proximity to this person, I believe, because I know how I am when I'm on my own, things kind of went screwy. So I had a very emotional day, even though it was a beautiful day also. I mean, miracles still happened. And I text this person, and because I had to deliver something to them on what just happened, a couple of things. It was like boom, boom, boom. No text back. That's your first clue. They're fake as fuck. But when this person saw me and I delivered what I had, and I'd gone through so many things, including when I was just sitting at the sidewalk, just crying, and I had some random man just sitting, like he thought I was lost, and maybe he thought someone hurt me, like a boyfriend or something. I said, no, I'm just a lot things I just had to deal with. And what triggered the cry was a miracle actually that just happened. It was great peace in my heart. Like it was all very emotive. And then because that person had recently told me about someone that he was close to that went into a store and fucking lifted, like theft, some food, and then was stopped by the lady and outran her because he told me, this is his friend, right? And he's telling me in detail, I don't want to hear. I go into a store and I had my big bag, and I remembered that I was just dropped by the cab, but I couldn't see my wallet, and I'm running out of the store, but they stopped me. And he's like, I've got security camera. I've got security. You stop. And I'm like, oh my God, my wallet's in the cab and it's outside. And I'm like, no, you don't understand. And you know what? I understood where this man came from. I understood the energy that had latched itself to me. And I said, here, I know you're just scared and you've got a lot of people in this area. Here, just search everything. And he's like looking, he's like, oh, okay. And he wanted to say, I'm sorry, because I was so giving that he was embarrassed. And then I run out, and another guy that saw me, he said, I saw you coming out of the cab. The cab left. And at that point, I was like, I'm finding it. I researched my bag, and it was under one of the folds. Because when I'm very determined about something, it's almost as if by magic. I see it there, it has to materialize, even though I know I checked it before. So we can't explain those things, but I'm just letting you know how sometimes things can materialize. When that person saw me after going through all these things, I've never been like searched and all these things and accused. But I was innocent, so I understood with compassion, just that I was worried about my wallet. As soon as the man sees me, this is his face. Hard day, huh? Smiling, smug energy. He was happy that something in my happy-go-lucky life went terribly awry, to which I answered, no, great day, but I took note. And for this reason, loves, when something amazing happens, and it could be even you meeting someone, you don't want to share it with someone who doesn't have that experience. You don't want to share, a new love with someone who's been looking all their life for one. You don't want to share your business idea or how many clients you just landed with someone who's struggling with their business. I'm sorry, but you're just going to have to team up with successful people, with happy people, because their envy energy is going to enter your field. You're not going to be able to do fuck all about it. It took me by surprise. Not that it took me by surprise. I kind of gripped myself while I had to kind of move through seeing this person and getting him something and whatever that was attached to people that I used to know. I knew it would have an effect. I didn't want to brace myself and be that inviting of it. Instead, I was very open. I said, okay, whatever happens, we're just going to dismantle it bit by bit, which is what we did and what we also watched as people tried to tear you down and what happened to them the very next day. That's another thing that is hard for a lot of you. And I address my Heyoka voice note women and men. What's hard for you is when people have done a lot of wrong and you don't think anything's going to happen. If you go and attach yourself to your winner's energy, a lot has to happen. If you sit in that they got away with it victim energy, nothing happens. And so you'll feel like shit. If you not deny, but see, this is the pain you feel from this betrayal and that this is pain, and you acknowledge this is painful, you may even cry. And then you latch really snugly to the value of who you are. And there's nothing that takes you there sooner than having a passion project you're in love with, such as I am in love with you. Seriously, each and every one of you. Even the dark entities that try to do what they tried to do in my last life. And I can't believe how all of you stood up for me. It's like, and not only this, there was a man, his name was Pete. And he just stood up for me. And I almost wanted to cry because it's rare these days that you have that. Now, the women who have that, it's very normal. But for other women who have been a long time in a masculine energy, dominant, distorted energy, because this is the only reason, she is a businesswoman, she's a top athlete, and she didn't know at the time, or still doesn't know, but she will, she'll be made aware of it right now. And if you want to disconnect, book a one-on-one with me, it won't take me long. You didn't know how, nor did you know that you didn't leave your balls at the office or at the gym, on the court. You took him home to your guy. Last you checked was a masculine energy. And what happened? Two similar energies in love will always collide and explode. That's like four scrambled eggs. That's a fucking mess. And it will force him by default into his feminine energy. Here's what that looks like in your life. Less initiative on his part, less follow through, less interest, forgets details, expects you to handle all the shit, especially when you're upset. But when he's upset, you must drop everything and really help him. You silently don't feel seen, don't feel supported, and most of all, you don't feel safe, because you will only feel safe when you're standing in front of another person, man or woman, who you feel is strong, either stronger than you or matches you. You will feel safe to be off guard and to feel what you need to feel, because those things that you're not feeling is what keeps you in the matrix of an illusionary distance between you and what you're meant to have in this lifetime. This environment you're in, what I like to call walking through the village of shit, this village, you're on the way to your palace, but you have to walk through this village of simple people, very simple, very primitive, very unevolved people. So it's not a time for you to necessarily shine, prove, or do anything. You just have to walk unscathed through it. Sometimes it's a little more challenging than the other times. And here are the reasons. When a woman doesn't know that she's in this distorted energy, the first thing she'll take upon herself is she'll be the fixer mask. Let me explain what that is. She'll keep dating men. I'm just reading my notes. She'll keep dating men with leaks, thinking she can pour enough love. This makes me scream. Just pretend I'm screaming. Okay, just pretend I'm screaming, because this gets me really pissed off. Just as I said that, I saw a spider go across the window. Oh my God, that's so cute. Life talks to you in so many different ways. When you're in pain, you don't notice nature reaching out to you. But let me just go through this, or I'm never going to get to my point, okay? Now, and feel free if there's any questions. I'm so happy so many of you are here. You can ask any question, okay? Nothing is off limits. If you're asking a derogatory question or something because you've got a point to make, I will let you ask that question, but be prepared when I pierce your nuts, okay? Now, the fixer mask is us women who will keep dating and being around men who leak power, thinking that if we can just pour enough love into them, it will heal them. That's not compassion. That's codependency. And not only that's codependency and heals. Not, I'm going to so go to town. I'm going to hit you really hard because I need all of you to change. Elevate. You secretly want him needy. You secretly like that he's disorganized or not good with money, and you like him that he's insecure, or this or this or this, because you think that's your security. You think that'll keep him with you. And the criminal part of all this is you're not even connected to your value, just what you can do for him. And that will destroy and take away your whole life, because you'll always be connected to projects. These are not partnerships. They're projects that you need to fix. That's your life. Because you'll be the woman that believes that she deserves a little after she suffered a lot. That is through religion hijacking power, but I'll deal with that in Supernatural Badass in that book. That is the woman who also equates love with sacrifice. See, the problem is, it's not that you don't know how to love. It's that you only know how to love another. Not you. You're invisible to yourself. And you fucking wonder why after you do A, B, C, D, that they almost don't even acknowledge it. That's where men are really wonderful. Because when you slip into mother energy, is an insecure energy, they will fail to respond. I love that about men. Don't think this never happened to me. Long ago, I remember at first being with the boyfriend. He used to leave me little gifts that he'd buy for me, right? And I was so enamored with being so taken care of like this that I thought I now had to do something, a lot of things. So I started doing this for him, that he never asked. He never asked. What happened? He didn't even acknowledge it. No, thank you. No, I see you took all the time and you did all this and this and this for me. And it was at that moment, instinctively, that I said, wow, not noticeable when I did it out of need, not appreciated when I did it out of a lack of sense of myself, not warranted or cherished when I did it due to fear of loss. That's why men are so amazing for us. They work like clockwork, and they're designed to be like that to keep us in line with our highest self. So in spite of what the idiots did to you and how it went down, I want you to see the whole picture. Every time they acted a certain way, it's when you did too much. It's when you were in mother energy of thinking you had to be a shrink, be his money manager, be his life, take stock of his life, his closet manager, his trainer, his dietitian, his shrink, his exorcist to take like the demons out of him for his addictions, his savior, his mother, and fix him for the next bitch. That's what you fucking did. You were utilized like some bird feed for some vulture so he can regain his strength, fly away. I need you also to know one thing. And if you can take the sincerity of which I give this to you and you can feel it resonates with you from this day forward, you're just going to be very different when it comes to love. And it is this. A man that is not destined for the Empress level of which you were brought to in Earth to grow into, evolve into, he will never change. You can keep taking him back. You can keep looking at him this way. The man that was not meant to be your final pit stop, he will never change. And the man that is sworn an oath in soul was torn from your soul. He will never leave, no matter what the fuck you do. Now, when I say that, don't be stupid. Don't be stupid. A man's heart is not to be trifled with. It's a precious commodity. They can die of a broken heart. We won't. It's not that our heart's not involved. It is, but not as much as theirs. Because when a man falls in love, it's a decision that sparks. It's kind of like they wake up one day and realize, because they've made a decision, because they acknowledge they're in love, meaning the heart already is immersed. Not with us. That's not how we fall in love, because we don't fall in love. We fall in bondage. Whoever we give our body to, we will fall in love with. This is why we're not supposed to fucking do that. This is why men can insert many holes and be attached to nothing. Now, if you're a woman and you're like, no, bitch, because I fucked a lot of men in a month, I gotta touch no one. Yes, if you do a lot of randoms, good luck with diseases and all those. But all I'm saying, you won't get attached to one if you're that cut off from your soul and you've got many. But what I'm saying, if you have one man, friends with benefits, whatever you want to call him, and you sleep with that one man, Within a month of that one man-ness, it's no longer, I don't care if he texts back right away. It's no longer, oh, he's seeing one of his other girlfriends, because you see her and you grow fangs all of a sudden. You've got daggers in your eyes all of a sudden, because she's taking a piece of what belongs to you now, all of a sudden. So understand that. This is why it is so beautiful the way we've been made. We fall in love through what we hear. That's how we fall in love initially. A man falls in love first through what he sees, a real man, not a femme guy. Oh God. A femme guy will tell you, I want a woman with brains, because he's looking for something to take. It's not to say that a man doesn't want anyone that is intelligent. Of course he doesn't want an idiot. But a man who's a man has a weakness to our beauty, to our eyes, to our smile, to our body. It is an honor to have our beauty be our weapon, because it is. It's designed like, what's that animal called? Armadillo? The one that has the shell. When he goes on his back, it's a soft belly. I mean, if there's any guys listening, just, count your lucky stars that we're not a tarantula, because she eats her lover after. She eats him. Just be happy. That's all I'm saying. But that's the first trait of a woman in a distorted masculine energy. She has a compulsive need to dig into his charts, his astro, his moon sign, his Chinese sign, his freckle on his ass, just revamp his whole life to prove she is of value. Why? Because she's disconnected from her value. So she can't exude her value. This is why she looks for respect. Not to be cherished, but I just want to fucking break it down to you. A man who respects you is respecting what you've built. He's not sensitive to your feelings. That's why you'll see a lot of men who say they respect you will diss your feelings, won't be there for your feelings. They can't hold that pain that is yours. They're too immersed in their own. They've got no room. They're weak. And they can't direct you out of there. And you know what? A real smart man knows he need do nothing. He just needs to be present. Why? Because we just need to talk out the weight of the emotions. Nothing needs to be fixed. This isn't a mechanical device that's broken. This is a woman who's comprised of estrogen primarily. That's a feeling hormone that processes and absorbs feelings all fucking day long. But not just hers. Her guys, her boss, her parents, the fucking news, the fucking chair with a broken foot on it, whatever. You absorb everything. And when a woman absorbs everything and she's not present and she's living in the logic of her mind, she's not going to be able to discern, because it's like tissue paper. What's hers and what's not hers. She'll just feel like shit. This is why I recommend all you women take out the shit in the gym. Go dance. Go climb mountains. You need, because if you don't take that out, you'll need to rebuttal and take that out with your man, and you will need to win. So now your life becomes about being right, not being happy, and you'll attract that. So that's the first one. The second thing is shield overdrive. She's in her grind, armored up. She's like, I don't need anybody. But inside, she's starving. The little girl of her is starving to be seen and to feel protection. And I guarantee she didn't have it from her dad. I guarantee you. Too busy, too scary, too threatening, never there, whatever. Was not there. And the harsh thing is that for a little girl, life is represented by her relationship with her dad in the beginning. So the blanket of her father duplicates how she will see life. And I will prove it to you. You can try this experiment somewhere in your bedroom tomorrow when you get up, or even later today. But make sure it's the sky, okay? Look up and think of one man that always makes you happy, that you actually look up to. And if you don't have that in your life, that's a bit tough. If you don't have that in your life, I suggest you think of a singer, an actor, if you're into politics, someone you look up to, a leader, whether he's alive or dead. And I just want you to think, have him on your mind, and I want you to have the person that is closest to you, that affected you, that was a masculine, that you had the most dealing with, and you have both of them front line and center. So the first one I want you to do is I want you to look to the right, and I want you to insert the head of the one you feared, the one that was never there, the one that hurt you. But it has to be a prime focus of a masculine. And I want you to look at the sky, and I want you just to think of them for a minute. And then I want you to ask yourself, right after that minute, how does life seem to you? And you will get words like, I have to be cautious. I can't trust. No one will be there for me. I'm blind. I can't hold on to anything. Then I want you to look to your left sky. And I want you to think of that good man that makes you feel good and warm inside. You don't have to ask any questions. Just see their face. Think of their face for a few minutes. And right away, just look at the sky. Like really look at the sky, not their face. How does life seem at this moment? And you know what you're going to see? Loving. Like I can do anything. Like there's so many options. There's so many things to do. I can take my time. It's a good place to be, etc. You're going to see that that's going to happen. And that's because when you're a little girl, your father will frame what life is supposed to be for you. Not in truth. Which is why if he's a good father, it doesn't matter how fucking life is. None of those things will ever fucking touch you. They won't, because you will expect life to be giving, life to be fun, life to be safe, and those are the only type of people and things that will come to you. You'll see. So the woman who's in shield overdrive, it's for that reason that she says, I don't need anybody. Why would she say that if it wasn't for everybody disappointing her? That's why. Inside, she's starving for real protection, to be seen, to be supported, and her body is tired of carrying both roles. The next one, control as safety, where she confuses control as safety. Because men keep failing the assignment for her. So she grabs the wheel of everything. Everything. It looks strong, but it's actually exhausting for her. Brittle, and it robs her of her softness. And when she's no longer in her softness, she can only attract life in its hardness, not its softness. So that's a really big problem. See, softness begs for something to cover it. Softness begs for protection, not begs as in needy. It calls for protection. I remember I was sitting with such an idiot guy. I was going to go into business with him. I actually inspired him when he read my first book. And again, I have 3. 2 of them are out. The Wisdom of the Penis. Check it on Amazon. It's doing very well. It doubles up as a private oracle. If you want to ask me about that, you can. Second book, I just recently released on my site, store.nicolecoleman.com. It's called The Sacred and Feral Trilogy. It's 3 ebooks in one. You won't be the same after you read this book. It just lays out in the blueprint of every single scenario you're going through right now, what it looks like that you can't recognize. It's like the blueprint to a vault. And once you go through all these alarms, the vault will open. You'll no longer be entrapped in this shit that you think is just everybody going through. I'll talk about that in a second. Hopefully I'll remember. Something else just came to me, but I just want to get on with this list and then answer questions if we have. Attraction to chaos. Your nervous system is wired to respond to drama as love. Let me say that again. Your nervous system, which is the magnet to your wealth, that needs to be calm and happy, recalibrated and rest, not frazzled and scared and fucking should you say this or not say it. For you, calm will feel boring. That's when you know you're quite fucked. So you keep calling in weak men to match you because weak men are chaotic. Take a temper tantrum when you isolate something that they did that hurt you. They don't see the behavior. They just feel that it's a verbal attack. So they will do everything in their power to turn the whole story around and lure you through guilt, which you'll be susceptible to because you already have a need to be punished. That's what guilt does. Guilt is isolating. Guilt seeks punishment in every aspect of your life. So you will call a man that will punish you for speaking up about what he did to you, make you the villain. So in essence, what you're doing is you're calling in a weak man to match your distortion because he's weak and distorted as well in his feminine energy. Fear of receiving. True masculine energy offers provision, clarity, direction. A distorted feminine energy will block it because she doesn't need any advice or input. I'm even surprised you're listening to me here, but I think I'm a bigger bitch than you are. So when someone is insightful and stirs something, you know enough to listen. So a distorted feminine will block it, become suspicious, wait for the betrayal. That suspicion alone creates the sabotage, meaning you overlook red flags or you make things happen because you call it. You really do call it. And you'll know you call it because you're still stuck in the blame game and blaming him for everything, which keeps you powerless because you don't realize you actually orchestrated everything. The emotional bodyguard, you're so armored that you won't even let a man's love in. You think you don't need anyone, but secretly you actually resent him for not breaking through your armor. The fixer queen, let's look at her. She attracts, like I said before, projects, not partners. She mistakes rescuing a weak man for intimacy, the biggest taker of life. Then she wonders why she feels so fucking drained and unprotected. Control as safety. She micromanages everything because deep down she doesn't trust him or herself. Her need to steer kills all his natural leadership and snips him of his masculine energy because he feels your doubt. You reinforce it by doing everything. And again, subconsciously, you really need him to be dependent on you. The guilt magnet. So when you're dealing with a guilt magnet, hold on, I just want to put this a little bit louder so you can hear the birds. The guilt magnet. When a man flips the script on you, you will, this is so outrageous. A guy will flip the script on you and you will actually absorb the blame like it's gospel truth. It'll just be it. You can't even intuit that it's off. because you don't feel fuck all anymore. You're numb. Gaslit into carrying his shame. You think it's yours. Deadly game you're playing. Deadly game. Next. The overperformer. You're cooking, you're working, you're initiating, managing his emotions, and you do it all because you don't believe he'll ever step up. Robs you of your sovereignty, of your regal bearing. You're in handmaiden energy. The anger in lipstick. You look feminine, but your energy is like masculine fury all bottled up in one. You're sharp, you're combative as fuck, you're restless, but underneath, it's a grief and unmet protection. That's all it is. But you can't tell them that because you don't even know what it is. Now, those are a bit that you can, and if you have any questions, please let me know. If this is all resonating, I'll just keep going. Where are we with time? Because with me, 2 hours flies by. Oh, good. So we got about 20 minutes left. Okay. So where can I go with this now? This is what I wanted to say. I am so glad that I remembered. All right. There is something that I tapped onto with a client of mine. It was beautiful that it happened. I recently came up with, first of all, for those that are interested, if I do have classes, there are classes beginning for $33 for the month, bi-weekly, this September 6th and September 20th, 2 p.m. ET. Join us. DM me class as soon as you can because it will close up in a day or two because it's on Saturday. For all those on the other part of the world, I will be doing other classes to hit them because I know that they can't have the class at 3:00 in the morning as much as they love me. And I do want to say how much I appreciate when you stay up and tell me things like you fall asleep to my words and it's 4 a.m. and I don't even know how to address that. That is so touching to me. But here's the thing that kind of came to my attention. It was really special. Something that I had figured out after I offered something that has to do with these classes. And here's basically what it is. I have noticed that when you have a class, you feel very supported and very strong, and all those women are there. But the only sad thing is that the women around you, they're behind as you get evolved. So when women around you are behind as you get evolved, that screws with your progress. You almost feel like I can't even show what happened or talk about this amazing thing or who I met and how high I feel in these classes. And I was right all along what I thought about the guy and all these things. It's like you have no one to share it with, and you can't build a community that way. And it's almost going to have a reverse effect, like, okay, I know a lot more than they do, but I can't say shit because they'll think I know it all and all that kind of stuff. It's a disruptive, frazzled energy of how am I going to be? I see through all this bullshit now because I've had some classes and that stuff. So what I came up with is I decided that what I would do is I would want my goal is to build an inner fortress of 5 friends or 5 family members. And then what happened that was just amazing is that it went to business. And with 5 friends, you decide when it is. You decide whether it's an hour or 2. It's 45 per person. At that point, we really isolate per person who it is and what it is and what they need to go through. And so when we do something like that, it's very piercing. It does not miss. It's just you five. And I would be asking you ahead of time to send me the one block that seems to be really messing up with you, of which I can just take like a quick glance at your past life and see where it's hooking into, why has it come forward. But so here's the gem of all this. When it's done in business, do you have any idea what's happening here? When I take on a bunch of women that are in business and they are really focused on one goal, and there the goal is money. It's an adhesiveness, it's being in sync. So here's the thing. Here's why it's so important. The women all have their home life and they all come to work. But the amount of money that they make and what it's linked to has everything to do with their home life. If they are not being received well, and if they cannot receive naturally, then when they go to work, making money has to be about a grind and a struggle before they see a bit. Let me say that again. The ability of a woman to make money has to do with the ability of her to receive. And I know you're thinking, oh no, when I'm at work, I want to receive money. I'm all for receive money, just fuck everything. I don't care my husband. But it doesn't work that way, because you know what'll happen? You could receive a lot of money, but it'll be at the expense of your love life. So having the pool boy be your major star of your main character of your life and your husband on the sideline because you can't connect, it's not what I call a good life. Or you will make money and it will be at the expense of your health. However, if you rectify the block at home that is making you feel like you have to work hard in order to gain, that starts with your emotional life. Guess what happens? When that gets straightened up in your home and your man is giving and you are receiving and you're not afraid to say how you feel, everything's straightened out, then you go to work feeling like you deserve to be pampered. You go to work with that same ease and safety your man gave you. So you go to work expecting all that. That energy of receiving that ease carries over to work. And so the money comes in with less work. It's not as easy as it sounds. You thinking, yeah, I could get easy to making 10,000 a day. Just take, you think you can, but I guarantee you after 3 days, you will screw it up. It won't feel natural. It's not in your field built up yet. Because when you go home and you have to fight with the guy and that makes you feel guilty and you feel like you have to suffer, you will fuck it up. So what I'm extending to all my ladies, an internal fortress, just DM me, go to my Instagram, @NicoleColeman_power table. This is going to be my power table classes for my entrepreneurs, for my career women, for any business women that are starting. You don't understand when your work becomes the hub of safety because it's parallel to their lives at home and they're feeling so relished, so cherished that they kick ass without trying at work, what that will do to you as the boss. You have no idea. So for those of you that want to go there, DM me power table. And again, I am giving away 4-day trials on a Heyoka voice notes that you will get from me each day. If you'd like to work with me one-on-one, again, contact me through either my store.nicolecoleman.com, my Insta, Nicole Coleman with a K _ just DM me if you'd like more research or a price breakdown or anything. And I will see you Thursday at 3 p.m. It's, this is the first time that I've done a live without a billion questions, but it was only like maybe 5 or 4 of you at a time. Here it's like 20 or 30 of you at a time. I can see you're up here. It's just amazing. This thing with these traits that I just read to you, that has to do with how you've succumbed to be in this day and age. And again, if you want to know why and how this happened in your particular life and how to unravel, book a 101, hit me up for a package. I have them in 3 or 4s or 8. When you take a package with me, it's not something you take and then everything is the way it's always been. Within that 3 package, different things have materialized, actions have taken, people come back from the past, or everything changes with your connection. That's the most thrilling part for me. This way that the majority of the women are today is the biggest leading cause of autoimmune diseases, because when a woman lives in her masculine distortion, primarily, not her feeling hormone, primarily, that doesn't have a true reign, and she has to rationalize what is important or not important according to the news or who says so and all that kind of bullshit, and she turns her heart against herself, there will be an autoimmune disease. There will be fibromyalgia. There will be arthritic things. There will be celiac. There will be Epstein-Barr. There will be chronic fatigue syndrome. There'll be, if you Google, you will see that the women of today suffer 80% autoimmune diseases. And that's what disease is. It's your body's frequency, energy being in dis-ease with itself, because you're turning your back on your heart, which is your engine of your vessel. And when you have a shitty engine, you can't be authentic. You're going to be too scared. So you're going to keep attracting opportunities that steal, people that fuck with you, family members that are like vultures, guys or girls that just want to take. And through my eyes as a Heyoka empath, that's just a really horrendous way to waste a life. It takes a little bit of a time, not a lot, to spearhead and go towards a direction that's lined up with beauty, with love, with wealth. And every single time that you are misdirected, it's not just that you go down the wrong road, is that you get your field accustomed to being in the wrong tone. You get a field that is erratic, and that starts to become normal to you. That's the criminal in all this. So I hope that was helpful to you. If there's anything specific, I will say this, but I will do a vid, because someone left like a whole book of a comment when I talked about how men were overly emotional these days, and how we need them dry in their logic, clear directions, purpose, and all that. And I can see why this person sent me a volume, and they went right to tarot cards. It was very interesting how they made their analogies of, like, if man was just logic this and he would be dry. Of course, but we're nowhere near there, because there's a shortage of actually men who are in their logic. We're not looking at men that are cold-hearted, logic, intellect, sterile, But those men are feminine men because they're insensitive to a woman. They're not masculine in my eyes. A masculine is a perfect blend of his masculine and feminine because he lets his masculine be worn on the outside and his feminine is on the inside. This feminine shows up as his goddess woman. That's who he protects as if his own heart, because that's what she is. She's his feminine personified in the outside. So he's going to guard her with his life. Not like what you see today, because it's not a true match. When a woman is primarily in her feminine energy and keeps her masculine side, she doesn't make the wrong decision. She doesn't fucking put her heart down. She doesn't fucking turn a blind eye to a fucking pain and forget about the next day. She's cordial, but she never takes the person back in. She doesn't give a fuck. She's amicable if they're sick. Oh, can I make you something? But not that I care. But if you need, I'm there. But she's completely withdrawn. Completely withdrawn. But she's human, but completely withdrawn. And you will see when you do this around people, they will start to get sicker. They will start to feel depressed because you never withdrew your energy after they hurt you. You kept their anger inside you instead and continued to leak your energy with them, because as long as you had to fix them, what they said, and clarify, you were carrying their energy. It's when there's a complete cutoff that you reconfigure to your whole value and you're not associated with their energy or anything to do with them. So to be very, very crystal clear, I just want to see something. Let me see if it changes here. Oh God, so now I'm seeing messages. It looks like I had it somewhere else. My goodness. Oh, wow. You know what? My apologies. I am going to take a little bit longer because I am now seeing all of this, and I didn't see any of this before. Okay, so I'm glad I'm seeing it. Sherry says those voice notes are gold, and she's referring to the Heyoka voice drops. Thank you, Sherry. I so enjoyed doing them for you. Tom is saying, yeah, deeper wallet. Okay. Ash, hello, sweetheart. What am I doing? I'm speaking. Is there a part of your brain that cannot register speaking? Just, let me know. Hi, Andrea. Yeah, Sherry says, I can't name what happened many a times. When a woman is primarily in a distorted masculine of logic, all that does is it disconnects with naming the emotion because it's too busy judging if it's even worth it for her to see, not looking at the truth of what it is that she's feeling. Sherry says, my truth is not their pain is gold. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Andrea says, I get repulsed by needy fixer energies. I am energetically sensitive and can feel their hooks in my solar plexus. Yeah, I'd be pissed off too. But you know what? If you're pissed, it means you're not, Andrea, right at this second, enthralled in some kind of project or either a person or some kind of something where it floods what they're trying to do. I would say that's missing. I can't escape these people that I work or take classes with. You need something apart from that makes you sky high, that reflects your value, and then it won't be so prominent. But that's why you get triggered. Well, first of all, you get triggered because although you're sensitive, you're still leading with your masculine. You're judging. You are empathic, but you're not in your full feminine power. You don't have enough energy up to drown and stand apart from their triggers. You get pulled into their energy of their triggers, so you feel pain. Your pain becomes you. That's someone who has a portion of them that is in a distorted masculine. That's all that is. It's a fog. clarity breaks the fog. Caleb says true. Sarfraz says, oh. Okay. So we've got someone that's, I think he's an idiot, actually. Let me get rid of this person. Yeah, we don't need to see people teasing other people here. Low qualities always are removed from me. Okay, next. A man power is in his nuts, but you just broke them. Yes, yes, a man's power is in his nuts, but you can't freely hand them over to whatever bitch you're with. And if you're attracting a woman who's in control of you, then you're dominated by your feminine energy and you're not in your nuts, because your nuts can't fit a woman. If you're in your, what is this? If you're in your logic, and if you are not emotionally triggered, Caleb, you won't pull over a mother type of a girl. You'll pull over, the other day I was in the gym and I was frustrated at something. And I remember I saw a guy and right away he looked and asked me I asked him if he could help me pull up a weight, pull it off. And he said, and ever since I asked him that, he kept an eye on me and that made me feel really safe. And at the very end of the whole thing, because I could see that he kept an eye on me, that meant a lot to me. So I went up to him in his face and I'm like, I'm so happy that you were here when I was here. Thank you. You made me feel really safe. And I just looked at him with the biggest smile. He froze. He was like nobody has ever acknowledged him. And then he broke into a big smile and he went, when do you come out here? And I think a lot of men don't have that acknowledgement of their power, of what they do for us in our moments of despair, in our moments of dealing with a toxic fuck, in our moments of dealing with stupid people. I think as women, we might go into a gym or at work and there might be like a guy who just makes us feel calm, but we won't tell him. And I'm not suggesting you go run after the guy and go, hey, you're my savior. But in this case, the man kept an eye on me and I asked him I needed help, something legitimate. And then I watched what he did. And when more women are comfortable showing their vulnerable self to a man, I think it really anchors a guy, not just his love of women, but a guy and the polarity, what it's here to serve us with. These are really good, Lo. Thank you, sweetheart. Max. Okay, Max seems like a good businessman. He says, I think you are a smart woman. Thank you for sharing some insights on women. It's interesting. I have a hard time with that word smart. I get it from every man that I ever speak 3 words to. That's the first thing they say to me. And then I always say to them, but I don't feel smart. It's not. I don't believe the insight that I receive from God, call it universe, whatever, is something that you can learn in a book. And that's why it impresses a lot of men, because men won't hesitate to say you're smart. A woman will not say to another woman, you're smart, but it's okay. It's in her eyes. I get all my appreciation from my women that way. Even if there's any women that might envy me in the beginning, they love me very quickly because I can meet them in a way and see where they're hurting that most women won't. Maybe I just have to come to grips and say, yeah, okay, I'm smart, but I don't feel that way. Because these things that come through me and the ability as a Heyoka empath that I have to read energies, I can see the energy between the masses of how people are dating. The energy communicates as a language to me So it's kind of like a foreign language. And then I get the insight in words. Is that smart? Or is that a whole different way of receiving wisdom? In truth, that's what it is. Because a wisdom doesn't really threaten anyone, but knowledge can, because a lot of times it's a perception, and perceptions can change. But wisdom can't change in any angle you look at it when it's that's why I also say, so I have my first book, The Wisdom of the Penis. If you guys read that, you just die. I'm talking to my men. Never mind, the women need to read it, but oh, it's hilarious. It's on Amazon. One day, I'm going to do a live show of that book. I had a man write back to me how much he appreciated. I had a college professor that was an English lit professor and lawyer, asked me permission if she could study my book in her class in Nova Scotia, a professor. I was such a big honor because I said, oh my God, first of all, English is my second language. Second of all, I'm not someone with a high vocabulary. And third of all, it was mostly slang. So I was in shock. And I said, you're studying my book? She says, yes. You have a very interesting writing style. And that's because my writing doesn't go and travel and slide into your brain. It bites your nose. It bites you and takes you inside to the energy of what I'm talking about. So you shift. Do you know that my dentist, who was in the 50s, he was in his 50s when he first read the book, and I swear he came to me, I don't know, I thought he had some kind of makeover. I'm like, dude, you look younger. Do I get a haircut or what? And he goes, no. I just finished your book. And I went, no. Wow. And it wasn't until I had several advanced people, I call them, who were in their 50s, late 40s and higher, read the book. And I can't tell you how it makes you look younger, because the insight in the book is energy. And if I can take your energy and take you back to when you were a young adult, and that's where you're here now with this knowledge and insight, you're going to look younger. You're going to go there. That's why when women are with the man in the beginning, they look so bright and amazing. And after 2 years, the guy looks better. The girl looks like wallflower material, camel shit material. Because that guy, their relationship was toxic, which means she overgave and he just took, and it was all fucked up. It's not a blame. They both attracted each other. Both were warped. But that means she had to give away her light, because that's the only way she thinks she's valued. She got drained as fuck, then she blamed him for it. He looked better. This is why men who fuck a lot of women look better, because you're going and you're taking their light. Why do you think you look so good when you do that? I'm not suggesting you do that, but the man who has one woman and he's king, of course, nothing trumps that, but you know what I'm saying. Thank you, Max. Thank you so much. If you don't have anyone, how do you recommend keeping your energy up after classes or growth with you? Well, you're part of my group with Heyoka voice drops, so it will stay up. It will stay up. But I would recommend, if there are some women that are one woman that wants to be part of the internal fortress power class, no, that won't work. Well, here's the thing. As your energy changes, you will draw to yourself people that will be more like you. And maybe in time, as you meet people, you all can take the same power table class. Wow. I wonder what you said wow to. Andrea says, okay, I understand. Andrea says, makes sense. Good. Calab says, you know a lot. Thank you, sweetheart. I'm glad you stayed around to listen, baby. And again, if baby is too personal, it's just I'm very free with my words. I just feel close to you, Calab. And again, if there is anybody that wants a certain topic for me to talk about next time, let me know. Sherry says, I just heard judgment is masculine energy. What about men judging their women and criticizing their frequency? Okay, so here's the thing. It's not that masculine is judgment. It's that masculine is logical. Okay? Now, there is a fair judgment, like if I eat this piece of poo, that will make me sick. Fair judgment. And there is a ridicule and criticism where it's distorted. Women blame themselves and judge themselves when they're in a distorted masculine. And when a guy is in a distorted feminine, he will criticize women a lot because he needs to blame someone for his inadequacies. And you are a stand-in for his mother, in truth. Isaac, that's discernment. Thank you. Alona, do you believe in destiny? Oh, I did a whole thing on this last time. I don't believe, I know. Sherry says, you are wisdom, truth, and light. This is going to make me cry. That burst through illusions, our illusions, and barriers protecting our illusions and pain. Thank you. That was very profound. Thank you. In my eyes, thank you. Thank you so much. Alona says, if a man gives more than you do, would that make you look younger? It's not about a man giving you more than you do. It's about you being aligned in your highest vibration of authenticity, meaning you exude love. But the thing is, if you're with a man that's taking it, you will look grosser. Do you understand? It's not about a man making us look better. We make ourselves look better. But if we take our better looking self and put it in an environment that is a toxic, distorted man, we will start to look worse and he will start to look better. Does that make sense? Okay, let me see. I now know how to work. That's what it was. Okay, so yeah, talk messages. Okay. All right. So thank you, everybody. All you men out there, I'm loving that you're here. All you men out here. Do you know that my men is 77% men on this channel, not women? So guys, if you're seeing any videos and you want to understand or have clarity on the fuckery of a bitch on wheels, in any way in your life, just simply ask me. You're welcome, Alona. You're welcome, Sherry. Bye, everybody. It's been fun. I'll see you Thursday. I don't know what the topic is going to be yet, but it will be interesting. I'll see if I can combine it for men and women, especially since the men are the majority now. They have to be my focus because they really want to learn, and they don't get threatened when I talk shit with them. Unless they're a feminine guy, you will be threatened. Thank you, everybody. It's been such a fucking distinct pleasure. Stay sacred, stay feral. And if you'd like, go to store.nicolecoleman.com and read some of the samples on the pages of the Sacred and Feral trilogy if you've been lured to this live, and you'll see exactly why. There's some freebies there as well. I will see you, if we're meant to be, Thursday, 3 p.m. ET time. Bye.